What's good, people? It's your boy the Kryptonian Saiyan, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 172. Yo, this chapter makes me appreciate Crocodile all the more, man. Like, I love when villains not only have their plan, but they carry it out, and they carried it out in such a methodical fashion where even if you're rooting against them or you can't really find yourself getting into their character, the way that it's being executed is just enough for you to say, I tip my hat to you. And that's what it is with Crocodile. I actually like Crocodile, and to give you an idea of where I would be at if this was any other character, if Wapple would have done something like this, I would say that's a pretty damn good plan. I like how the seeds of discontent have been sowed, and it's actually the little kid that tried to join the rebellion that fully pushes Koza over the edge. Like, I thought that was interesting, man. And, you know, didn't get shot in the eye. So I'm guessing he got shot somewhere in the upper body or something. But I know he was holding his eye, his head and all that. So I'm guessing he might have hit that shit or something. But I did like this chapter simply for the fact that when that little kid realizes that Bon Clay, Mr. 2, has been jerking their leg and everything, I like how he decides, okay, I'm going to go tell everyone. And the reason why I like that is it shows that even the smallest among us, their voice should be heard. And the smallest person might have information that'll change your outlook on something, which is why I'm a big proponent of listening to everyone's opinion. I might not always agree with it, but I'll at least listen. And even if I can't use what you're saying right then and there, I'll still file it away. And I might never use it ever again, but you never know. And just like with that little kid, if Koza was arrogant, he wouldn't have listened. Now, in this case, Koza couldn't hear anything because it seems like they crushed the kid's windpipe. Either that or they got him with enough internal injuries or enough injuries, period, to where he looks like he's choking on his blood. But I'm going with the fact that they might have crushed his windpipe, because when he runs into the upper agents of the Baroque Works, one of the things they say is like, hey, did we just discover something? They're saying it in a teasing manner. And they say, well, we can't have that. And the big guy is just like, well, I guess telling you to shut up isn't going to do anything. So I did like that. And I did like that it took place off panel. You know, me personally, I would like to see that shit, the throat being crushed. But I can understand why you don't want to do it. You know, that's something that just in any form of entertainment medium, period, it's very controversial to have a kid get their ass whooped, like a little kid. And maybe it's because, like I said, I grew up on Dragon Ball, and Gohan was like 4 years old getting his ass whooped by Frieza. Literally 4 years old. So, like, maybe that's why I look at it and I'm desensitized. But even like with books and everything, it's a huge red flag. Like when you submit your manuscript or short stories, when you submit them, and there's any type of violence against kids, huge red flag. They push you to get taken out, and you have to be able to defend why this is relevant to the story, why it's needed, and could the story still progress without that scene in there. That's a huge, that's a huge, you know, no-no area. So getting back to this chapter, what I did like is seeing the different panels where you see back at the palace where Chaka is trying to figure out, like, who am I supposed to trust? Where am I supposed to go with this? We have rebellion really rising up. Seeing Koza hold that little kid's head, cradle it. And somewhere in the back of his mind, he's probably recalling the first time that that kid stepped to him wanting to join the rebellion. And despite his trying to keep him away from the action, away from the danger, he still got hurt, still got involved. You know that's eating away at him. So I like seeing just all the different parties at work, and then to have it go all the way back to Vivi and have her being called by her name that she went by in Baroque Works, which is Miss Wednesday. And for Crocodile to say, hey, you helped put this in motion. I like all that because it's just setting the stage for this big conclusion to this arc. And I really feel like we're, I wouldn't say approaching the climax for this arc, but I would say that we are getting ready to hit the base of the hill. I feel like the base of the hill that leads up to the climactic moment, that's where we're at. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get to the climax, but it feels like we're at the base of it. And Crocodile's taunting where he's like, look, the key's down there in that pit. If you want to save your friends, go right ahead. What's more important to you, your father's life or this kingdom? And it's an impossible decision for Vivi. And it really reminds me of this old Batman movie. I can't remember which one, but it's where the Riddler, I believe it's the Riddler, you know, he's got Robin, and I believe it's some type of love interest for Batman, but he's got both of them, and he's telling Batman he's got to choose between both of them, and he ends up dropping them. So that was cool. Another comic book reference would be in the first Spider-Man movie where they had the Goblin do that, which was the Green Goblin, but that was bullshit. That whole scene was death to Gwen Stacy. That was fucked up, but I did like that because it makes Vivi make a choice, and this is great character development and growth for. Obviously she's based for something bigger here on Alabasta, but just the amount of character development she got, man. I would love Vivi to be part of the crew, but she doesn't really offer anything that Luffy needs. Everyone on his crew, they fit a specific niche, so hey, as much as I would like to see her on there, it just shows how good this writing is, that Oda has secondary characters that you find yourself being attached to, and while they're prominent now, and we may never see Vivi again after this arc, she's always going to be a character that stays in my mind. This is good, man. So my chapter question for you guys isn't going to be about this chapter. It's going to be about what I just talked about. Out of all the characters in One Piece, and keep the spoilers out, or a huge ass spoiler warning, but out of all the characters that have been introduced to in One Piece so far, which of the secondary characters have you found yourself most attached to, and what is it about them that just made you kind of go back and kind of call them like a personal favorite, or go back and reread those arcs? What is it about them that drew them to you? But as always, if you like anything I had to say, hit that like button, comment, rate, subscribe, share. Greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.